Such,
The season was autumn. The year 2016. 2 guys, 1 microphone, and a love of D&D. That's where this all started. And now,
Hello and welcome, heroes, to episode 300 of Crit Academy Podcast. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Ian. I'm your co-host, Brandon. I'm your co-host, Austin.
and I'm your co-host, Ryan.
Damn, that porn stash dude.
I didn't realize that I actually knew this Ryan, apparently.
Is that nature regulation?
Today, we are taking a trip down memory lane, and we are so excited to have both our former co-hosts, Austin and Ryan, along for the ride. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Woo.
Ryan was my first co-host. Me and him locked in my dark room all alone back in 2016, early 2017. It was awkward.
Yes,
we made
it
it.
was.
And then Brandon and Ian joined, in 2017, and Austin joined Ian in 2019 and 2020 after Brandon took a couple first years off. And now we're all 5 back together for an episode.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I am super excited for this. Before we get too much into it, obviously the inquiring minds want to know, what have you guys been up to? So since Austin actually showed up first, I'm going to give him the floor. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you've been up to since you left us?
It's funny because I thought I was going to be late, and then I realized, no, it's these fucks. I'm early. Some things never change.
I think you're the first one here.
I tried to be here at 6:30, but I swear I tried to walk out the door. Somebody made me turn back around.
So, man, I sum up like years.
Oh my God, it really has.
Yeah, I was like,
Almost
what do I
3
even
years.
say at
It's
this
been
point?
6 for me.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been
know.
like for you.
I did not say. We only had 2
well,
likes.
just been kind of working, man. Obviously, I got tattooed. You guys can barely see it on the screen, but I absolutely got my arm fucked up.
Oh yeah.
Sasuke!
It hurt. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Shit hurts.
Tattoos hurt.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not.
says they don't as an asshole.
Yeah, it's like no, it's
Or
just
they
awful.
like pain.
Yeah, or they like pain, which
Was
I
that
guess
masochist?
up to you. I guess I don't know. Beyond that, been kind of like working up in my company, so now I'm full time at Barnes and Noble, and I can kind of just do almost whatever they're in.
Nice.
It's
Right?
exciting.
Almost went up to the ladder a little bit more, but unfortunately, I did not get the position. But who cares?
You'll get
It's
there.
fine.
Who do I have to pick out? I know 2 Navy guys. We gotta be able to get something done.
Navy's not special.
Isn't that where the SEALs are?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a
so
very
maybe
small
instead
part
of,
of the Navy.
I was saying, instead of SEALs, maybe your little baby turtles, but you can still do something. I saw 4 Ninja Turtles that were kicking ass. Right? So that's exciting.
Beyond that, I got saving up money and hoping we can do something later. I don't know.
Which plan?
Not sure yet. I'm gonna be honest. Just kind of coasting.
And that's
for now.
okay. Just coast.
Figure it out.
With everything, with all of inflation, man. And look,
How I like it when my eggs are $9 a dozen.
Ryan, what about you, boss?
Yeah, so I decided to move half a country away.
That's-
Yeah, actually, it's coming up on 3 years now. February 24th of this year will be 3 years since I decided to join the Navy. Since I left for the Navy.
you know, it's funny 'cause I
Yeah,
remember seeing on Facebook that you joined. And I was like, holy shit, he went and did it.
I know.
mad lad.
Yeah.
Um,
College, I'm out of here.
yeah, so
This is where
yeah,
we met.
that's the main thing I've been doing. I'm in the Navy's nuclear power program, so I'm currently a staff instructor at the Nuclear Prototype Training Unit in Charleston here.
Apparently, it
Yeah.
sounds like it was an accident.
Yeah, it's,
Wrote down his
so-
name wrong.
Someone's very confident
Yeah.
he's being voluntold. So,
Like Mary.
Yep. So yeah, I mean, I work on like a rotating shift. So that's like we were just talking about before we went live. I'm on overnights right now. But yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I go to work and I train a bunch of 18 and 19-year-old kids fresh out of high school how to operate a nuclear reactor underwater. So, that's not terrifying at all. But
that sounds safe.
Doesn't sound like you're gonna blow up and die or whatever.
yeah, right.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Man,
As
that's
long as they roll
basically what
a
I've been
5,
doing.
you're good.
They got hella procedures on submarines. We're fine.
Let's take a moment to appreciate that Ryan looks like he's 18 or 19.
I look like what?
14, you're 18 or 19. To me,
Oh.
you're still like, I'm so damn old. Like, I still see you as like this
Yeah, I'm about to be 27.
college kid.
I'm 27 in 2 months. I'm getting old.
I turned 28 in like 3.
I know.
We're 10 years older than you. What?
Yeah.
Once again, that just adds a level of creepy when it was just the two of us
That's
in
like
with them.
Batman bringing on Robin.
Come with me if you want to live. I'll show you my
Dice, baby.
All right, so we're gonna get into this. We are obviously taking a trip down memory lane, talk about some of our favorite moments in the show, maybe our favorite topics. Obviously, we're a bunch of fuck ups. Probably just be pure humor, not related to actual value to you. But hopefully, you'll enjoy this conversation. I know we are going to absolutely love it. Part of RPGs and games like that in general, what makes them fun are the memories that we forge together as friends and family.
Absolutely.
And I'm super excited to have those memories. So,
And of course, anyone who's watching us right now, be sure to share your favorite memories of us in chat too, if anything comes to mind.
oh yeah, that sounds great. So, which knucklehead wants to go first?
Well, we're gonna get-
You
know what?
Roll a d20 and find out.
have Ryan go first.
Yeah, have Ryan go first. He's the
Man, they really just like throw the guy that hasn't been on the show in 6 years
just
under
throw him
the
under the
bus.
bus. It's fine.
Yeah, I got you.
On you.
Yeah. So one of the ones I wanted to talk about, I can't remember for the life of me if we streamed or recorded this game at all or not. But this was I think this was one of my first or second times ever DMing a game. Because I was like, hey, I kind of want to start DMing, and Justin was like, yeah, dude, come over and we'll run a game. I was like, okay. So I made a little one-shot campaign or whatever, and the main villain was this guy named, I believe his name was Felix. And he had a really soft voice like this, but he also had a really severe stutter. And so, little known fact about me, when I was very young, I also had a pretty severe stutter and went through 5 years of pretty intensive speech therapy to get rid of it. And so I spent 3 or 4 hours of this campaign just stuttering as much as I physically could, and I'm afraid to do it now to demonstrate because of what happened. Because then for the next week or two, I kept stuttering again, and I could not stop stuttering in my real life from doing this game. So yeah, that's just one of the ways that this show has negatively impacted my life. And
Oh my goodness! I remember when you came back the next week and we're talking about it. The fear in your eyes was like, "Oh my god, dude! I couldn't turn it off." I'll never forget that because I saw genuine fear.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna have to go back to speech therapy.
Brings up a good question for the audience. Have you ever played an NPC with such an outrageous voice that you did the entire game and was really hard to stop doing when you were done?
I know.
Nope.
I've had issues like that before.
There was
That's right.
actually, I think Ryan would remember this. I think it was in a game he was running or you were running, and I played an elf that had listen, my friend, we're going to conquer this dungeon with the best of us. And I had this really thick, trying to do this Indian accent. And then I joined his guild on World of Warcraft and we're talking to all the people, and I had the same thing, and I kept that going for a month. And then he finally found out because somebody ask you in the guild about me being Middle Eastern?
Yeah, it was one of my friends was like, "Yeah,
Just
what's
some white
your
guy
friend's name?" And I was like, he tried to describe. He was like, "Yeah, the Middle Eastern guy." I was like, "I don't have a Middle Eastern friend that joined the guild." He's like, "Yeah, you do." And he was like, "What's his name?" He looked it up. He was like, "Oh, it's this Zelgadis guy." I was like, "Dude, he is very white." Like, what are you talking about?
Oh my goodness, that was the funniest thing ever. Because he was like, "Listen, my friend, can you help me with this dungeon? I cannot solo it yet." Oh, that was good.
Oh,
The story of the stutter and NPC was awesome, not only for the stuttering reasons, but because you tricked our asses. Because you didn't get into details of Felix, but Felix hired us as adventurers to steal this widget, like a horn or something.
Mhm.
And the horn like bound him to a mortal form, and then when we gave it to him, his bitch ass turned into a beholder.
Oh yeah.
No.
I was like, that was the. I don't. Did you come up with that on your own?
That was a fun
Yeah.
adventure.
Because that was
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, it was kind of like I just like retconned. I was like, okay, I know I want the bad guy to be a beholder. How do I make them just run into a beholder? So I was like, well, I'll just make a guy turn into him.
Brilliant.
I remember that being one of the few times I actually did a good job role playing because like the character I built, I just like clicked with that character.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you were like the monk, right? The like little like the
No.
gnome monk.
No,
What happened?
actually, I was a fighter. Who was
Oh
an
yeah,
archer.
yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. So, anyways, yeah, that was one of the coolest adventures that I had been on. Not because he got the stutter problem, but because the character was interesting, the adventure was interesting,
Yep.
and
And
it
honestly,
was
that's all that
memorable.
matters, right?
Yeah,
At the
right?
end of the day, that's all that matters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That was a really, really good one. That's a hell of a way to start
Oh,
off
yeah.
the show, man. I like that. What else we got?
I don't
Man,
know.
I remember when like we talked to fucking like the barbarian and we fucking talked to the dungeon dudes.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck am I doing here? I felt like I didn't belong. I was just some dude in the middle of buttfuck nowhere talking to these guys that have like hundreds of thousands of
We definitely got some solid guests throughout the years. There's no question
Absolutely.
about
I
that.
think
And
that's
I-
probably
And I mean, we've also had some not as good guests too.
Yeah,
I won't say
that-
any names,
that's been pointed out to me before. We're just like, could that person have been any more boring?
but like
Yeah.
we've also had some guys on who are like actually like really like nice dudes and
Yeah.
like
yeah,
they obviously had a love for the game. You know what I mean?
yeah, and I think that's one of the benefits. And I don't know if we had any guests when you were on. I don't think we had started doing that.
No.
yet, did
We had a couple.
Uh,
We didn't have any. So when we were doing it, we weren't even like recording video yet. We were just, like you said, two guys in a dark room. We had. I can't remember his name.
we
we
had,
had us-
Benoit from Garblinstone for sure.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. Because I think he was our first guest, right?
Yes, he
Yeah.
was.
Yeah. So
He was
I was still around when we had him on the first 2 times, I think. But yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest parts of my show, the show that I think is
Okay.
memorable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite guest?
Who is my favorite guest? I feel like that's going to be shots fired if I pick one.
Yeah.
Or you
But-
can tap out and say Garwin.
No, Darwin pays me, so that'd be a paid promotion, and then we have to put a little tag at the bottom of the show.
Oh,
No,
God.
so honestly, we've had a lot of guests, but if you want an honest answer,
Yeah.
I would have to say Jeff Stevens.
Oh,
Not
that's fair.
because
That's a fair
if it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have became publishers. Do you remember what he
Yeah.
said to us
answer.
yeah.
when we asked him about how he joined DM's Guild and how he became a writer?
Mhm.
For those of you that don't know this, he said, I was going through some of the content. I've always wanted to be a writer. I was going through some of the content that was on DM's Guild
Mhm.
and read it and was like, I can write at least
I was
this
gonna
good.
say, I remember him saying that. Yeah.
And he's
actually.
like, why not try it?
Yeah,
And he did. And that line is what drove us into becoming. He's like,
And
well, if
now-
that, yeah, look
now
at
look,
there's
yeah.
there's one over there. There's
I
three
still have
behind me.
my copy of Memorable Monsters. I know exactly where it's at. on my desk.
It's it doesn't move.
I mean, it's there.
In chat, Sybil was his favorite memory is the times he got to be guest here on the show, filling
I mean,
in.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you guys don't know, Matt's a close friend of ours, and he really fills in nicely for that seat right there. Not that wasn't a shot at Brandon.
I know. I
They're
know.
usually
There's
more
times
obvious
when I
than
can't
that.
be here.
No,
Yeah.
he fills in when Brandon has daddy issues. I mean, when Brandon, I swear I'm not.
I'd rather say daddy issues than kitty issues.
Either way, you've got issues, right? Anyways, so when we need to fill in, Matt always comes on and brings a lot of good content.
And
So-
Matt has also been part of our live streams too for our.
Oh man, that's
Plane
another whole
shifters.
thing. When we did
yeah.
plane shifters.
Yes.
Man.
So those of you who don't
That was
know,
a
we do
journey.
stream some of our games, and they were pretty.
And
They're quite a blast.
and actually, I have 2 memories I want to share that I remember from our campaign.
Let's hear it, my friend.
I mean, that's what we're here
And
for
if you've
today.
got any questions about any of this stuff, Ryan, feel free to jump
Yep.
in and
Thanks,
ask.
Yep. I'm trying to keep up. We're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes two of
Absolutely.
us.
This was a great idea on your part, by the way.
Uh-oh, I don't have those anymore
Uh-oh.
anyway.
Yeah. When Austin's character was put on trial in Plane Shifters and Ravnica.
That was one of the best moments in D&D I've ever had.
Now,
Not even close to like, God, that was awesome.
well, here's why. Because that section of the game focused so much on you, especially since our characters weren't present, we weren't there. So
Yeah.
Justin wrote up some dossiers for angels who were basically like the judges on the council.
I was literally put on trial.
Yeah, and you handed it out to us, and he's like, here's the guidelines, play them how you want. And I remember like the one I was given Nathaniel, which I found hilarious because my brother's name's Nathan. Yep. When I described him, like, okay, basically picture a angel who has like a black skin, but looks like he stepped out of a forge, so it has a glow to it. He's wearing black armor, has red light coming out from the seams. And I can't remember how I said that word for word, but I remember also going, I am terrified of this guy. And I suck at descriptions. That means I did a good job, but that was his reaction.
I remember being like, oh man, it was like, I think it was something along the lines of, that one scares me the most.
And that was, I agree. That's the second time I've done the court scene thing.
Yeah.
And it's the second time it's been one of my favorite roleplay moments.
I think it's because like
I'm not doing the work.
It makes the players like demand so much attention to their detail, and then they get so much push or pull into the story suddenly.
Yeah.
And
I'm
the
surprised
part
how
I
well
like about that
works.
too, though, is only one character was the focus. Even though one of our characters were there, you kept the other players involved, and that was
Yeah.
a great way to do it.
Yeah, instead of me trying to play 5 people.
Yeah, which would be
I still think I kept myself as one.
You did.
And
You
then I
did.
gave you guys all my
But you kind of took the
servants.
back seat in that encounter, and I remember they all kind of
I think I
took
might do that again.
the main.
That would be
good. It works out really, really well. 'Cause as
Every
you said,
time,
it
yeah.
includes everyone. So
Yep.
And
have you ever been in anything like that, Ryan?
Not like a like a trial scene or anything like that, but it definitely sounds interesting.
It's definitely fun.
Do you
Yeah.
still make time to play tabletop games, or I know
I
you're
haven't
probably
in
busy
the
being
last-
Navy man.
I haven't in the last few years, or not a few years, like year or so. But when I was still in training, me and some of my friends were running. I ran Horde of the Dragon Queen for a couple of my friends. They were all like first timers, had never played, but they really wanted to play D&D. So we actually have on base. There's like a game store. It's like a Magic the Gathering D&D, and then like
That's cool.
what are they called? Like internet cafes where you like pay $10 an hour to like play on their computers or whatever.
Kind of, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we would go there and hang out, and you know, it's been
Is it
probably
a
about a
porn cafe?
year or so since
No.
I've played, but yeah.
Yep.
Let's see.
Yep. And another memory from the same campaign too is this is like when we were getting near the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
We were having this like climactic fight over a stone bridge that was over lava, and
I remember that
even my girlfriend Gigi commented on this.
giant fucking bird.
Yeah, like at one point, one of the opponents in the opposing party, the Joe went, "I'll handle these guys. You all move forward." And
Oh,
the
that
bridge
part.
version summoned 8 T-Rexes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was going to be like a hard fight even for us at the level we were at.
Yeah.
And then the Druid tried to escape by, what was it, wild jumping to a mosquito and flying away.
Flying
Yep.
away.
And then I managed to position my character at the right angle with Merle, fired, hit him in his mosquito form with his arcane turret, which pushed him backwards. And because mosquitoes have no health, he turned back into his regular form and then
Fell to his death.
death off the bridge. And then I went, wait a second, aren't some of the spells concentration? And just like your face doesn't morph and went,
I was
oh crap.
pissed. I was like, I forgot. It's like he's dead. They're gone. That hard encounter just literally went poof.
Yeah. But in the most literal fashion, we were about to fight a bunch of fucking T-Rexes, and next thing you know, we weren't. I was surrounded by 4 of them on a single slab of bridge that's all crumbling around me. I'm like, this is gonna be tough.
Yeah, it really was.
I might
fantastic.
live through this. I probably won't.
Which means I did the smart play. At the very
Yeah,
least.
You
you did.
Absolutely.
That's why I hate playing with you. He's really. He kind of reminds me of Ryan too. You both are very tactical. when you play. While you typically follow the role play, when you're in battle, you two are terrifying, and that makes it interesting for me.
Yeah.
And I run straight forward like an absolute maniac, like he wants.
I love it. There's a few things I can always count on for Austin, and
Absolutely.
I like mind control spells. And I can
Absolutely.
genuinely know he will follow through with it, so he always becomes my target.
I'm always the guy who's like, "You need me to kill my friends? Oh, buddy, this is the best part of D&D." PvP,
Just like I've been
man,
waiting for this since level 1.
PvP was enabled, fucks.
It's like when a level 60 freaking warrior swoops into Goldshire, just demolishes everybody.
Remember the time?
Ow! I forgot about that one.
What?
Ian Briggs goes
He also
banishment.
Sat Champagne was
oh my
like,
God.
I enjoy how Ian breaks encounters
Oh,
stories
man,
of them.
surprise
One being banishing
inspections.
aerial mounts and surprise inspections.
Remember the surprise
that's a good
inspection
one.
back when we were
Yeah.
in fucking Storm King's Thunder, I think is what it was? Or you gave me a clipboard, and I actually used the clipboard to take notes on the whole thing about the super weapon, so I could go over when we actually needed to turn it off.
on.
And I was like, yeah, but I took notes. And you're like, you did.
That plus he used it to bypass encounters.
Yep.
Hilariously.
So I for those of you who don't know, they were in the stupid forge with orcs or ogres, and ogres aren't smart. So this owl was like, "Poof! I got a clipboard."
yeah, and then we just
time
bounced
for
off
an
one another.
inspection, and they're like,
Surprise inspection.
"Is there inspection today? I don't really like these. Carry on."
Wasn't this in the mountain?
It was.
Yes.
It was.
Sure was.
Storm
Yeah,
King's
that's-
Thunder.
That's when we got locked into the kitchen. And somebody spilled a
Giant
pot
kitchen.
of boiling water, and it got turned into rough terrain.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's only like if
it
you
was
ended your
boiling
turn,
soup.
you'd take
Yeah.
damage.
Oh
Yeah.
God,
behind
you
the counter.
guys.
Chef Boyer
Boyer
Dur.
Oh my god.
Oh lordy.
Remember
So
back in Plane Shifters where you accidentally cast the banish spell on me, and thank goodness it was me because I resisted it, and I almost got poofed from the campaign.
Yeah.
that literally just happened. So I run a game for
Because
our
SMR from this
adult. What was
was
our
it?
what
Is it because
tier
SMR
is
not from the plane?
Well, no, 'cause we were
Garwin
in the Ravnican campaign,
Emerald?
so none of us
Emerald?
belonged
What it's
there.
called?
It's not a
Oh.
new one.
So I almost just
Ancient
went.
Dragon.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Whatever.
I'm running. They're in the
Oh,
Feywild, and they're fighting a wizard, and it banishes Garwin. Garwin's character, Versible.
Oh no.
And I'm just thinking, oh, he's out. The big broody barbarian's out for a minute. Great. We all just kind of, it dawns on us. Wait a second. He's not from this plane. I'm pretty sure it stipulates if you're cast on a plane, you return to your home plane.
Yeah.
So he appeared in an outhouse. Raging crazy barbarian busts out of the outhouse and just slaughters all these innocent and gets held for the next minute. Every time it was his turn, it was him role playing him, the big bad monster that puffed out of the middle of nowhere and just started massacring people.
Oh no.
Until it finally ended and he poofed back. Now there's a city out there that's just been decimated by this monstrous orc
Oh my
that
god.
just appeared, destroyed a bunch of stuff, and then disappeared. And it was glorious.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
So let's reel it back in a little bit away from
Yeah,
just
yeah,
the
yeah,
role
yeah.
play games. But Brandon, did you have something related to some of the episodes or shows that's favorite memory of yours?
Oh,
I mean, you've
so
had like
many.
3 weeks to
There's-
pick one.
Well, there's a lot of it.
Yeah.
the problem.
That's the
One
problem.
of my favorite things though is there's a item that you created that is in one of my campaigns and is wreaking havoc in the
Beautiful.
best way possible.
I've made 300 of them.
And
Can
that
you be a
is-
little
that
more
is
specific?
The bag of scolding.
Yes!
The bag of
my
scolding.
God.
It doesn't have a Medea voice or anything like that, but he's still a dick.
You didn't.
and
You didn't
wha-
give it a Walida voice,
No.
Juanita.
Juanita.
Instead,
Juanita.
he sounds more like a cocky Italian.
Oh,
But
mine's like,
still,
"Woo, what did I tell you? You do not stick stuff in my hole without asking."
the issue is that our warlock, she's the one that they become best friends, and she's trying to talk me into saying, since he's bag holding and he can learn verbal components and he's a magical item, can I somehow teach him to do vicious mockery? Like, maybe I might let that actually happen because that'd be really funny. So what she do? She puts a deck of many things into it, and every once in a while when he sneezes, the card gets blown out.
God,
And I
that's
stipulate in my
definitely-
campaign that if you have the deck many things, you have to look at the card for it to work. If you draw a card,
Okay.
nothing happens. But if
That's
you look
fair.
at it, then it dissipates. It sneezed, and a card floated down in this crowd, a city of people.
Oh no!
And some 18-year-old kid picked it up, and it was the Avatar of Death.
Oh no!
He just appeared and then disappeared. That was it.
Bow before me.
And this entire street of merchants are like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
The guards are everywhere looking around. The party's just like,
Yeah, we gotta go.
That's great.
That wasn't. I
Yeah.
mean, no one could find out. All they know is that
I-
this giant Grim Reaper thing with a scythe just went down with. And just,
love
there
that
goes
bag.
that guy.
and it's because it makes fun of people that
Yes.
she wants to teach it vicious mockery is because of what it says.
You know, if you want to fit the mechanics to it, have her multi-class and take the feat that lets you learn a cantrip.
Yeah.
And then the one that lets you cast spells as a bonus action, the meta magic one.
Magical initiate.
Yeah,
That one?
because then you can.
Yeah.
Is that the one that also you can use quicken?
No.
Which
No,
one?
that's a
There's one that
different
lets you use the pick a meta magic, right?
Yeah.
There is one, but that's not magical.
That's the one.
initiate. That's the
If she
something
gets the
else, yeah.
cantrip,
Yeah.
and then picks up quicken, she can use the mechanic as intended and just say it's coming from the bag of scolding,
That works.
Ugh,
and you don't got to break the game. Or you could just give that feature to the
Or just break the
bag
game.
of scolding,
his name
Or
is,
just break the game.
Rezo.
Yeah, I'm down to break the game.
or just break.
We know it's way more fun to just break the game.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
That's
That's
the
the
best
point
part
of
of
magic
it.
items.
So
Also, Matt brought up a good one, and that's good time.
Yeah.
Good time.
Hey,
Oh
good
my
time.
oh my
I
god, if you
remember
can-
good time. Man, back in fucking.
Oh, that was
Descent into
also-
Avernus. Is that what
No,
that
that was
No.
Dragon Heist,
That was
and
when
I
I
would
was
just
running
like to
Dragon Heist?
say
That's when I was running Dragon Heist.
there
Oh my
is no
God.
heist in Dragon Heist, so that's a bullshit name,
my
Wizards
God,
of the
it was in
Coast.
Dragon
I bought
Heist.
that expecting a heist adventure, and I did not get one, and I've been devastated ever since.
It's a treasure hunt. That's it.
And that's bullshit.
Isn't that the one where we had the Kenku die with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Rezo.
wanted
That
to
was
actually cry.
that was the very last
Oh
session.
my god.
Yeah,
That tore me up, dude. I was
And
so
then I
sad.
had,
I was
uh,
like,
like
we
the
had this
second shift or
Kenku with
something.
us, and now he's dead.
yeah.
And we were forced to fight him and kill him
Yeah, we were
ourselves
forced to fight him. That shit was so.
because Brandon wild shaped into a dragon.
Yeah.
And then he found out at the end Xanathar was a prick.
Yeah.
It's all
Yeah.
his fault.
Which I mean, that sounds in line with Xanathar.
So, an episode that I really loved, and I feel like impacted me more than a lot, was the story branching episode. I don't know if you guys remember this. This was a really, really long time ago. I actually think it was with you, Ryan.
I
And
think so.
I mean, like the top, it's like in the first like 10 or 15 episodes.
Then yeah, probably.
And this was this is more from a game mastering standpoint.
Mhm.
Researching this and this methodology made me a better game master overnight.
Yep.
And if you don't know the story branching or you need a reminder, I've always played D&D. You roll a die to pick the lock. Oh, you failed. Can I try again? Sure. Roll a die. And I always fell into that you can keep trying, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or I would just say you can't try no more, which that's no fun.
No.
Yeah.
When I researched that episode for us, learning that there should be a split in the story based on a die roll.
Mhm.
It's not just you failed. It's a range. You roll the dice, you get from 20 to 1. What happens? You failed? That's not a branch in the story. That's a dead end.
Mhm.
Yep.
And when we did this, I learned that, okay, you rolled a 3. All right, you spend the next 15 minutes picking the lock. You hear some footsteps coming down the hallway.
What? Stop.
Mhm.
Stop.
So now it went from I failed to you're taking a long time and oh, here comes a guard. And that single line of,
Yeah, that's nice.
huh?
That's a
Nice.
philosophy that I forget that like needs
Yeah.
to exist in D&D.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And this is one of the first episodes we did, and it made me a better game master overnight, and I have never forgotten that. And because of that, I feel like that's why I excel at being a GM,
Hmm.
because of that philosophy. And it also ties really well with other player characters. Why can't the barbarian kick down the door as the rogue is picking the lock?
Yeah.
Mhm.
He goes to kick it. He rolls a 3. Well,
Ow!
He kicked the rogue.
so the rogue in the
There's
back of
always
the head.
that. Yes, that is always the
So-
thing.
What I found is using it. How does this branch in the story? Oh, you try to kick it with all your mighty brute strength, and boom! It's like hitting a brick wall.
What was that?
You
noise?
realize. No, but okay, whatever.
Everybody
No,
was
what
like,
it is
wow.
it's got metal. It's got reinforced metal joints.
Yep.
What that means now is the wizard or the druid who has heat metal can just melt the damn hinges.
Yeah.
All because of a failure on the barbarian's part. The story branches in a new way that opens it up to other people.
Wow, you actually found the episode.
That's impressive.
Episode 26.
26. God damn.
Wow.
That's where Alicia's got like.
Yeah, I mean, probably.
No, her Google Foo is strong. So I don't know if
Boot to the head.
how that feels to you guys, but that was one of the episodes that I just realized not only is there something to the show, but I have a lot to learn. Because at that point, I thought I would argue that I was a pretty good GM already.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it also proves that even as a veteran, there's so much more for us to always learn.
There's always
Yeah,
so many
I
things.
feel like it's.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I just feel like it's really easy when you're DMing to like railroad, right? Like, because you have the like you created a story and you're like, all right, yeah, this is what I want to happen, and then in order for them to fulfill your story, they need to succeed on this check. So you're just like, try again, try again, try again, instead of like finding a way. Okay, well they can't pass this article or this obstacle, but what's another way I can get them around it? Maybe okay they can't go the stealth approach anymore. Okay, maybe they kick down the door. Everyone knows they're here now, and they have to fight their way through, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
It's funny you say that because one of the strategy I used once is they need to go through this door to get where they're going. So they're kicking down the door. It gets stuck a little bit with a bad roll. The other guys know they're on. They all had their actions ready. So when the barbarian kicked the door in for the second time, he got pelted with a barrage of crossbow bolts and started the fight almost dead.
Which makes sense.
Because guess what he isn't doing when he kicked down the door?
Raging.
He wasn't raging. And guess what they learned? I'm not going to kick your door down anymore.
Or the rogue is seeing someone to pick the door. That as he's doing it, the door opens. The guard steps out on patrol.
Hello? Kick him in the face. Kill
I
him! So those are really good points. You were going to add to that?
don't remember.
Anybody else got anything to add to it? Because that was one of the episodes that we did that just.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I was just going to say that like D&D is so freeform that sometimes you really do just kind of forget that like you don't have to like railroad people.
Right.
There's certain obstacles that you want them to do.
You have options.
Yeah, and I think as a DM, you kind of have to remember that like, oh yeah, they can just solve this way. I guess I could see that working, and then let it work. Or they all failed their shit. I gotta give them a pass somehow.
And I think that is kind of part of what makes RPGs fun.
Yeah, and that's almost like
D&D.
and that's almost like part of why like I usually recommend like first time DMs to like not run a pre-made campaign, because like with that you only have what they tell you exists, and the second your players are like, oh okay, that's cool, you want us to go to the keep, well what's going on at that tavern over there, and you're just like, the book doesn't say anything about a tavern, like yeah, right, so like, and then you end up like right, and then you end up making stuff up on the spot, and then hopefully it fits in with the rest of the story. So at that point, just make your own story. Like, even if you don't have anything, even if you don't have a full story when you start, make it as you go. Figure it out.
The players
You're
will
learning. It's your first
make
time.
something.
This asshole right here, I don't even think he knows how a notebook works. Like, he tells amazing stories without writing shit down, and it pisses me off all the time.
Notebook.
I don't believe you. You're lying to me.
I got
No,
contract.
this person's dead.
Like, how much damage you dealt? Okay.
But that's a skill set not everyone has. To be able to do it and do it consistently and reliably to the
Yeah.
point that you can keep the story together. Me, I can write it out and I still can't keep the story together half the time. I write bullet points and everything else is just like, whatever the players want. Here's the breadcrumbs. Oh, they didn't follow that. Okay, whatever. Let's see where they go. Because players will tell you what interests them.
Yep.
And all you have to do is listen. I only listen about half the time, so I kind of get it mixed up sometimes, but I try.
Do you remember if we ever had Michael on the show in any capacity? I know we were playing with him at the time. Like, there were pictures of him in the intro role, but I don't think he was ever on the show, but he might have been in one of our like recorded games.
Maybe. I think he's in one of the. Yeah, it's been a long time. Why do you ask?
Yeah. So I was thinking about. So for those of you that don't know, the way I started playing D&D is me and my friend Michael, which if you remember in the intro clip, he was the skinny kid with the green hair. Not Brandon, the other skinny kid with the green hair. Yeah, he is now. Yeah, he's jacked now. But me and him were just like, I kind of want to learn how to play D&D. So we just went to this game store that was in our hometown, and we're like, hey, there's a D&D game that goes here. How do we play? And then Justin happened to be the one running the game that week, and so he like taught us how to play and like rolled our first characters with us and stuff, and went from there. But
and I just wanted to say, I'm talking about RPG games where I met Justin too. So yeah.
Yeah. Is that where I met you guys? I think I did. I think I ran a game for you.
Yeah. So that's what. Yeah. Sorry, I thought Ian told me to wait. Yeah. So you ran a game for us, and his all I remember about his character, for the most part, was he was a dwarf paladin named Brotor, and you were like beta testing a new homebrew rule where if you rolled a 1 on an attack roll, you rolled again, and if you rolled less than whatever it was, your weapon broke. Michael broke all of his weapons. And then in one fight, and then was like, I don't have anything. And my character was next to him, and I had like an extra hand crossbow that I wasn't using. I was like, here, don't break this. First attack, he breaks the fucking crossbow.
Oh my
my
goodness. Now, mind you guys, the number to break for a common weapon was like under 4.
Yeah,
so you had to roll a 1 and then roll under a 4 for a weapon to break, and then you could craft weapons that wouldn't break.
Yeah, it was impressive that he did this. Like, it wasn't like this was some like oppressive rule that just made it impossible to play the game. You had to crit fail to even have a chance to break it. Like,
it just occurred to me that, well, first off, it's a shame Archangel Games closed down because I love the store. But it just occurred to me, if that store never existed, this show would not exist.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good old domino effect, I guess.
You're right.
I think it would just be different people.
No, it would not exist, period.
No, I wouldn't have made this show.
Oh shit.
I know.
I mean, that's just.
Thank you, Archangel Games.
R.I.P.
Half my friends, yeah, right?
Pouring out for the homies.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I didn't meet Ryan in fucking college, I would have never met you guys.
Yeah, I think I ran after that.
Yeah.
I met you at a convention. You're like, hey, you're friends with Ryan. Yeah, we are. It's good to see you. Blah, blah, blah. And
Hey, come play D&D with
small
us.
world.
I was like,
come into my dark room.
Sure, I guess.
So another one that I loved was an episode we actually had Ryan on.
Yeah.
And that was one of the Halloween episodes where we spent an hour and a half creating a randomly generated adventure, which turned out to be like the exact to a T plot line to the movie It. And we're like, huh, well, look at that.
Happy accident, because we were all tossing in random ideas, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wow. I do remember that. That was one of our first, like...
That's a list of good memories there.
Yeah.
Also met Fireball.
Yeah, I think that was the first time we had anyone other than just me and you on. We did that.
That was the first big group. Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
I missed that. You know what my favorite Halloween episode was? So I was running...
I know what you're going to say.
Was Haunt.
Yes.
And I had all the lights off, and there was just candlelight and flickering and everything. And there's a part when you get to the second floor that you describe the kind of little bit of thumping and thumping and thumping as they get closer to the end of the hall and the door. And I had worked it out. I had called Alicia and left my phone on. So she went outside. Mind you, we're outside in the barn. All the lights are off. It's dim. There's ghostly music playing. And then I say, then you hear a loud banging on the door, and she starts slamming, and everyone's like, what the fuck? And jumped out of their skin. Because she actually pounded on the door. It could not have gone any better than that.
She's sitting back there just trying to hold it in.
And I almost ruined that moment. Hey, it looks like your phone's called out. You're like, it's fine.
Oh, yeah, that's the one too. Little Heroes. When we had can't remember her name.
I know.
Anne Gregerson.
Anne
Yes!
Gregerson. Anne Gregerson.
The legend. If you don't know who she is 30 Projects Gregerson. She had like 30 projects she's involved in at once with big names like Cubicle 7 and Cobalt Press.
I need
Yeah.
to thank Anne because she made me like $180 on one session this last Halloween because I used Little Heroes and I told all my players from my 2 games saying I'm running a Halloween event. I want you guys to make up level 10 characters, but they're gonna be kids. And they're like, what? It's like, yeah, they're all gonna be children, and you're all gonna have one positive attribute and one negative attribute because you're children. And like 4 of them were illiterate. It's so funny.
Come to the door. What's this say? I don't know. I can't get past it. I'm not strong enough. What's wrong? It says pull, and they're pushing.
But the whole thing was they spent the night trick or treating, and I brought candy in for them, and they each got a little D20 that was orange and black because it was Halloween. And they would go door to door on the map. They say trick or treat. It's like, oh, hello, how you guys doing? What are you dressed? Oh, you look like a ghost. You must be a goblin. You look great. And they fucking loved it until they came across a kid from a neighboring town.
Oh,
saying,
a kobold. What a bastard.
I think he was a kobold.
Of course he was.
But he was telling stories of a house to the north that only appears to children who are in desperate need of like a lot of candy and stuff. And it turned out to be a house of a hag. And when they say trick or treat, anyone who says trick or treat, she opens the door, casts sleep on them, and then steals their fucking candy. And their whole mission was to go and get their candy back. And they end up in this demi-plane where it's just their house and just a void of nothing surrounds it. So they enter the house, they figure out where the basement is, which is this giant labyrinth. They get to the labyrinth, and they find out that she's using all this kid's candy from the centuries past, putting it into this pot, this cauldron, mixing it up to summon a candy dragon to destroy all the children of the world.
That is the coolest story ever.
And she does raise a dragon. It was Snickerdoodle, made of chocolate and candy.
Actually, so awesome.
And they fought the dragon, defeated it, and like, yeah! And they get outside the house, and I said, okay, this line that was carved out to create this void starts to dissipate, and grass reappears. And you see that the dragon was really a pinata you guys had made or found or something that's discovered nearby. It was, this house has always been here. It's just been an abandoned home as you hear your parents calling you home because it's time to go inside.
So they were playing Dungeons and Dragons as kids.
It was the imagination of a child. They were playing a game.
That's actually
Okay,
so awesome, though.
And they
How much of that did you write down?
None of it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
That is awesome. That is talent. I don't have that.
Yeah.
I want.
That reminds me of one of our UTTs one time was a character that was like, it was a bard specifically, but it was like a guy. It was a player who got like sucked into the game of D&D. And then would just be like walking down the street, like humming, like let the bodies hit the floor, and then just like everyone around him just fucking drops. And he's like, "Whoa, what just happened?"
He's like, "Yo, whoa, what's going on?"
Best vicious mockery jams ever, right there.
Yeah,
I like that.
And one other memory I see on the list that I totally can't believe I blanked on it is Shudokan.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
that was
so much
pretty
fun.
legendary. So
Yeah.
those of you who don't know, do you want to?
Okay, it was me, Justin, Brandon. We decided to do a panel at the con, and we ended up doing a live D&D play, and we went whole ham into it. We actually dressed up as the characters. Like Justin was wearing a wizard's robe. You, Brandon, were wearing like a full-on dragon mask because you were playing a Dragonborn, and I painted myself like gray, and dressed up as a barbarian, even had like a huge hammer. And I even walked up to you, started talking to you, and he had no idea it was me.
No, he shaved his head. He was all looked like Grog. I think you actually got comments about that. People thought you were Grog.
I know. Because it's like, I'm not Grog.
I'm Thorg, and I
Yes.
love meat.
Yep, Thorg. Yep. Oh yeah, Thor liked his steak.
So one thing that really set this apart is Brandon made a sketchy ass big D20,
Shit, D20.
and every time there was a moment that they need to roll a check, the audience did it. Right?
Yes.
And,
Audience participation was involved with this.
and it really unfolded in front of them, and they got to kind of be involved in it. It was really fun.
And the part I enjoyed about like a Thorg too was the way I explained it was he's not stupid, but pretend if like someone tried to learn English from a dictionary. So therefore,
Talk, but
so therefore he was using words incorrectly as a result because he's taking them literally. Like a perfect example of this was as we're getting into a fight, Thorg went, "Do not worry, Thorg has this. Thorg is a pacifist." And then Terrence went, "What?" Because they always see me kill stuff at this point.
yeah.
And then fast forward to the fight as he brought down the hammer and killed the last enemy. He goes, "Enemy pacified." And then the entire audience just burst out laughing since I clicked.
Yeah.
That's very good.
Do you have another moment there, Austin?
I think of one moment, and this wasn't, I guess, part of the show. I guess it was more plain. Not this wasn't in Plane Shifters. This was in Descent into Avernus,
Yeah.
I create
Which connected to
memories.
Plane Shifters.
which did connect to Plane Shifters, which is why I struggle so hard with it, because it's all just one giant thing. I don't find the breakpoints very easily.
Clearly, I didn't make the battle ending calamities big enough. I guess I'm sorry, dude.
I wanted to go fight fucking what's her name, Zariel.
Yeah.
Fucking so bad. At the very end, we were all on these like weird like ghost horses, and I was like, I'm just gonna fucking fly around. I'm just gonna go beat that bitch's ass, but I'm way too fucking weak to fight right now.
He didn't even care.
I wanted to go fight, but it kind of taught me that like you and your DM can make. Like, as a player and a DM, you guys can, like, absolutely talk behind all the other players' backs and make some absolutely ridiculously crazy moments for stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sure Ian knew I was absolutely going to yoink that sword so fast out of that pedestal, but I'm pretty sure Matt was a little hesitant on the whole idea. He was like, I should probably get this before him.
Yep.
But me and you worked out that, like, I want to use my plot
I gave him
point.
plot points.
Yeah, he gave us
It was a
plot
great
point.
idea. I loved it.
I never used mine now I think about it.
You never did.
And neither did Matt, I don't think.
He did because he needed to live.
What's
Oh, that's right.
what's a plot point?
You can
You
basically
let
just
them-
rewrite an
They
event.
rewrite the story in some capacity.
So I knew that when I took the Sword of Zariel, I was supposed to turn into a lawful good character. Guess who fucking didn't?
Instead of being being blessed by the
God.
sword, he corrupted the damn
Instead,
sword.
I used my mortal willpower to corrupt the Sword of Zariel. And
Something like that. Is that your idea? Plot points, or is that like in the book?
It's in the book.
in the book.
It's in the DMD.
It's
Oh,
been
shit.
it's
Yeah, you can look it up. It's crazy. But
How
yeah,
long you been on the show?
it was
Fuck you.
absolutely yoinked that sword, and I caused the entire timeline to shift because what was supposed to happen was I was going to be a good little angel boy and hand the sword back to Zara and be like, here you go, this is yours. Instead, I said, this is mine, I'm gonna kill you. Great
Let it
times.
happen.
That was awesome.
Wow.
Ryan?
There was a lot of times where Matt did not like my character.
I think that was part of the fun, though.
Yeah.
Their characters were so opposite, and they role played them so well that they would literally. I would sit back for like 20 minutes as these two are bickering back and forth in character.
Yeah.
And then everyone else was jumping in and trying to take sides and stuff. It was glorious. Made my job easier.
Although I will admit, I did consider the pull sword myself because Merle has like I kind of wrote down like as like his flaw. He has like the mindset of what does this button do?
Those are good ones.
That's a good one. Any moments from Capes and Crooks that stayed with you? Oh my god, do you remember that?
So Ryan, I don't know if you know, but we created our own RPG based off 5th edition that's superhero called Capes and Crooks.
Have one that has stayed with me, and that's when in the final moments where we were trying to like keep this train powered so we can keep the life support going, my character had resistance to lightning, so I literally grabbed the wirings and I just sat there having lightning streaking off my body as I'm literally becoming a power conduit for an entire
That was
machine.
awesome. I like that.
I kind of like the discussion we had about Capes and Crooks was both me and you took the Crime Fighter class.
We did, and we were vastly different characters.
Completely different.
I couldn't believe it.
And I remember at one point we had a discussion of who we thought would win in a fight between our characters because of that.
Yeah.
And I thought said I think you would win because you had like a aura,
I had like 3 aura effects. It was stupid.
right? And you could fly and you had a range attack.
I sure did.
But you also said yeah. And I basically just focused on melee combat and nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So as a result, I said, yeah, but if you close that distance, you would destroy me.
Yeah, and then I died.
Run away. So I think Capes. If you guys
I
don't
got
know,
nerfed 3 times, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
I
I
had
had
to
to
get
power.
nerfed
I'm
on
just
the
like,
aura one
that
time.
combination is terrible. Like it's just killing everything when he walks.
Yeah, I literally just
Like,
walked
that's
around
bad.
and I was nuking things.
I don't
I wasn't
know
nuking,
if
it was
we've
more like
mentioned
a
this
fast
already,
burn.
but Capes and Crooks is while the Kickstarter wasn't successful, we sold so many copies. We are in the process of
Doing like a-
redoing the layout and making it print on demand.
Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
That'll be exciting.
Which kind of shocked us because,
all right,
yeah.
second best selling product that we've made of all time.
Yep.
That's insane.
Again,
That's actually insane.
Is that
and
still
what?
the-
And I only thought about this because I saw this on the list somewhere, but this was just when that brief time when it was just me and Justin as hosts when we did Dawn of Worlds.
Yes. If you guys
we
have
did
not
that
played
once
Dawn
too.
of Worlds, we
we
did.
did that once too.
I think it was all of us, wasn't it? Or no?
No,
It might have
we
been.
tried to do it once on Discord, but it didn't really go
Maybe
anywhere.
Oh, that was a different group. 'Cause I think he
Yeah.
was in one of the Dawn of World games I played. So I think I've done more than
Yeah.
one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. For
Mhm.
those of you who don't know, Dawn of Worlds is absolutely amazing because you sit around the table with friends
As gods.
as gods, and you get certain coin tokens, currency every turn to do different things: shape mountains, sink cities, create citadels, all these things.
It's a
and
world building tool,
and
basically.
you build a world in the night having fun. And then at the
Yeah.
end, not only do you have an entire story, I remember you introduced banks to it. I remember that.
Yeah.
And
The concept of banking.
yeah, banking.
How could
Yep.
you?
Right? Why
What's
protect
wrong
their
with
money?
you?
I was the evil god. I went in saying
Okay.
I'm gonna be the bad god.
Gotcha. All
Yep.
right.
Now, I do remember when we did. You create like what was it, elves? At one point, you even created like ice tieflings.
Dwarves invaded my ice tieflings and then enslaved them, and then I had fire tieflings. You had ice dwarves.
Well, like
It's reversed.
I started off
Yeah,
as
yeah.
fire dwarves,
Nice.
and Justin tried to nuke them so many times out of existence, but their plot armor was so hard. And it, like one perfect example of this was like the fire dwarves, like their home base, if you will, was they originated from a volcano. And Justin dropped a freaking asteroid on the volcano with his plot point.
My God.
forgot about that.
but
Fuck this volcano.
but then to a surprise, basically all that really happened was the fire dwarves popped on the ground. Who did that?
Who threw that meteor at me?
So that was really fun. If
All
you
I do was
haven't
think I'm
tried it,
mad.
you can check out. You can find the link on our blog that I wrote about it too.
Yep.
Oh, man.
The file's hard to find. You really gotta.
Yeah, every time I've wanted it, I've had to message you and be like, "Hey, do you still have that?" You're like, "Yep." Copy paste.
So, did you have any other big memories there, Ryan?
Yeah. Do you remember what was this character? Was it Chark? Was that the character name? The human
Sounds familiar.
sorcerer. It was Cody's character.
Yep,
Um,
I do.
I read that
He's
Cody
just
the other
this,
day.
like, old crotchety man who talk like this all the time, and he almost TPK'd us because we were like level 3, and we're like going through the story, and we're in this cave, and there's a roper, and
Oh
for
yeah.
some reason Chark ended up feeling insulted, and he says the words, "You don't insult me, varmint," and then shoots it with a firebolt. After it
That was
gave us
Cody?
the option of leaving unharmed. Because it was like, you gave
He's
us
like,
the option to leave, and we're like, all right, cool. And then it said
It
something.
killed
stark,
it
like,
ate Josh's character, didn't it?
I was like, at least you know what's good for you. Yeah, one
I
of
like
us
how
died. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah. I think it was
I liked
Josh.
how anytime any kind of monster was mentioned, he's like, "Is that some kind of varmint?"
He played very much like the old
Yosemite Sam.
Yosemite Sam.
Yeah.
He had the
Yeah.
attitude, and he nailed it, and it was glorious. And I do remember that. I was like, this Roper's going to demolish him if they try to fight it. He's like, what did that Roper say?
That
Oh,
was
very
also around the
odd, yeah.
time that this isn't really related to the game, but you thought at one point that he drank your drink, and you got really grossed out by it. So then for the next week, he kept sending you threatening texts about how your drink was going to get sipped.
Remember,
He sent you that picture of him taking a drink, and it was flashing letters that said sipped.
Yeah. All right.
There's.
There's
Do you guys remember? Man, I played. Oh God, I played like a fighter samurai character, and it was that one shot we played where it was at that fucking drinking party like D&D session with who was it?
Jeff Stevens ran
Was
that
it Jeff
game with us.
Stevens?
Yes.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
play testing so we could fight his big keg golem.
Yeah,
keg
Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
There's
Shit
a beer
was
style.
so funny.
My God.
That was such a fun one. He made
Oh
one
my
that
god,
was
he
just
gave us like a fucking sobriety meter or something.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, we're gonna get smashed at this weird D&D thing. Okay, cool.
And then I played an ASMR Divine Soul Sorcerer.
Absolutely, and you handled your drink better than everyone in the fucking party.
I remember basically when I went Super Saiyan, going to like his boosted astral form, then twin spell like upcasted. Oh, what's that one spell?
Oh god, I don't remember, dude.
It's like the one that always used for clerics, not Sacred Flame,
Is it
but
guiding light.
Guiding Light.
Bolt?
Yeah,
Guiding
Guiding
bolt.
bolt.
guided bolt. And you're like, wow, that's your opening move. As I twin spelled it, upcasted.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's really good. Oh my god, you guys.
Yep. I also want to point out for like one more memory. Not once, twice. We've had viewers give us hot sauce.
Yes.
Wait, twice. Oh
If
yeah,
I had a
there was
nickel for every
twice, yeah.
single time a viewer gave us hot sauce, I'd have 2 nickels. It's not.
It's not a lot, but it's more than you'd expect.
Yeah, it's not a lot, but it's weird that it's happened twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the last time we actually met 2 of our viewers, husband and wife, at GooseCon,
Yep.
and they gave us some scorpion hot sauce, and we eventually had it on air.
Which had
Yeah,
ghost
that,
pepper and scorpion pepper in it. It was good.
Scorpion. It was scorpion.
It had another pepper in it too.
Wait, what?
There was ghost in there, but scorpion was the big one.
Ghost.
All
and
I
scorpion
know
pepper.
is that goes in and out the same, and the pain is equal, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Dude, I don't like wiping my ass and seeing blood.
Okay. But the other
I don't like it
time, a
hurting when
viewer
I wipe
sent
my
us,
ass. It's like all tender down.
yeah.
Like, ow, ow.
and the other time, a viewer sent us some blueberry Reaper sauce.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember you, Justin. He just kept on coughing more and more, dying. Brandon's going, oh, this is great, but kept like turning more and more red as he keeps eating stuff. But then goes, I'll be right back. Gets up, leaves. Then we hear him scream outside.
come back. I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. And I'm just sitting there like no reaction whatsoever. Like, hey, this is very good. And you're like, are you a freaking alien? I'm like, no, but
Yeah.
that would explain a lot.
I did watch. I did finally seen him break down. You did the one chip thing,
The one chip challenge.
and I swear to God, he was so red he looked like an apple.
I
And that's when I realized my tolerance isn't that.
Oh my god.
I realized my tolerance is not what it used to be.
How'd you?
So I was
handle
at
it?
work and on the boat, like up in the we just found one.
It's like a
Yeah.
just
it
found
was
a
in
chip
the
just
box
lying
and
around. Like I'm
everything.
gonna eat that.
And so we were just like, let's break it up and let's do it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
it
in
was a bad
regards-
idea.
yeah.
But we did it.
So, with that memory in mind,
Oh my god.
No,
He
stay the hell away from me.
I'm not.
I'm good,
I'm not
thanks.
going near it.
Trace Diablos.
$20.
I'm not going near it. dude.
$20
That's
for a
Scorpion
bottle of
and
torture.
habanero.
Yeah, you
Are
Are you
know, there's
insane?
Holokia.
there's more expensive ways, I guess.
What's Holokia?
All right, I guess.
It's Ghost. Just by a different name.
So
You
it's about
know,
the same as
we
the last
could
one, but it
end
has
we could
habanero.
end drug problems by putting hot sauce in every mixture, just so everyone knows.
Ex-hot.
Yeah, but then like
I don't trust the
pepper
hot sauce
spray's
bottle
gonna
that
stop
doesn't tell me what the
working.
Scoville is.
Pick it up in the
because they
gut.
start
It
getting
doesn't tell me what the
immune to it because
Scoville
they
is.
keep
It
drinking
looks
this
like
shit.
it.
Building up a
No
tolerance.
No sauces don't put
Snort it.
Scovilles on them.
Why not?
Okay.
Nope.
Are there any other memories that are actually on the show? Anybody got anything they want to talk about?
I remember you guys caught me saying that I had swamp ass on mic,
God, it never left us ever
and
since.
it
Has it?
stayed forever.
It's in the intro.
It's in the intro.
He has come.
Yep.
And he is gone.
Oh, there goes
All right.
again.
Honestly, this has been 7 years of a journey that Alicia did not think would get past 2 episodes, who is now
Way to
sitting
go.
behind a desk
Yeah.
with so much electronics and shit running the show
People.
because I was doing such a terrible job. And I just want to say thank you for all your support. I know you didn't believe in me,
Yep.
You do.
but I don't
Still doesn't.
blame it. Blame me. No, yeah, still right. But honestly, my favorite memory is meeting all of you and being able to talk our favorite hobby together.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Meeting all of our online friends and all of our listeners, and you guys are awesome when you're joining us on Discord. Those memories, not everyone gets that, and you guys have made it a real special experience.
I can't have anything hot right now.
And I'm trying to be, all old man memory here, but they're distracting me with their acid sauce. I guess what I'm trying to say is thank you for all of the time you've supported our show.
Absolutely.
I do want to take.
Are those tears in your eyes?
No,
Are you gonna cry?
There's no tears in my eyes.
You gonna cry?
He's an old man now.
I cried before I got here.
Oh, so
He's gonna cry.
Ian's- Fuck no. I took the last stuff they gave me, and I regretted that
Don't
too.
rub your eyes.
It's all over your hands. Don't touch the mic. Oh
Now
God,
it's just
he's
more on
licking
your
it.
hands. It's still on your mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Make sure
On
you
your mouth.
I hope that he forgets to wash his hands and
Can we
takes
get
a
away
piss
from Alicia?
and is squealing with a burning penis.
why not? Alicia hasn't actually been on camera.
Okay,
Has Alicia ever?
that
There we
is-
go.
Over here, hon.
Good
Take
enough.
your headset off. Come on.
Ah,
Come say
Come here
hi.
and bow. Not so much that your cleavage shows though.
You know,
What?
Not that
No.
kind of show.
cleavage. You have fans too. You know.
Yeah,
yeah.
she's
Ear
the one
roll
that
comm
keeps the
safe.
show going. So wave at the camera.
There it is.
There she
Eh,
is. There she goes.
Let's go.
Holy shit.
There we go.
So before we close out today,
burns.
I think that we're a little over an hour here.
Yep.
Yeah, we are.
I'd like to once again remind everyone that Alex's Alex's Bombastic Oddities launches February 21st.
Man, Alex
If you
Bomb, I
don't know,
forgot.
Alex
Alex.
is a person who has many challenges, including dyslexia, but always wanted to write a book. So we've encouraged her and we've tried to help her and coach her to end up creating an absolutely stunning piece of content. A book she's super happy to put out. It's being
Thank you.
designed to be accessible, so it's got writing styles that help with people with dyslexia. It's color coded for those with color blindness. And so hopefully you'll want to check it out. It's full of all kinds of amazing world building. If there's one thing I got to give huge credit to Alex is her ability to create stories. I love being part of Initiative and Intrigue, which you can catch on twitch.tv/AlexBaum every other Friday, where the world building that she does is next level shit, and she's put it into a book along with all kinds of D100 tables to help flesh out your world. Are you gonna be okay over there?
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, our pre-launch page is up. So please visit our Kickstarter and click to get notified on launch. One of the best things you can do when supporting a project like this is to back it the day it comes, the day it launches.
Sure.
The algorithms love that shit. So please
Mhm.
consider visiting it and rebrand.ly/ABO kicks AB rebrand.ly/ABO Kickstarter.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, a question from an audience member, which is a good question too. How is it going from podcast to streaming?
It sucks. That's why we're going back to podcasting. There are so many more things that become a problem when you're trying to stream.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it really is a challenge.
Like when the power
Not
goes
that
out.
it sucks. Obviously, that's an oversimplification. But when something goes wrong,
It goes wrong hard.
it goes wrong hard and it affects the viewer's experience.
Yep.
If we're just recording a podcast in our own time and something goes wrong, we have however long it takes to get it to work right. So you get the best quality experience. And right now, that's one of the struggles of trying to get everything better. So it's funny you actually ask about that because I just spilled the beans. So we want to thank everyone first the wings. We want to thank everyone for the last 7 years. We could have never come this far with.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to pause. There's a puppy.
Yeah, my dog really wanted to be on, apparently.
Oh, I
Oh.
can't see it. So
I was
Alicia
gonna say,
took
we
away
can't
my
see it, sadly.
pictures. So
I was surprised.
there it is.
oh,
Puppy.
yeah, no, we've got the chat and the show notes up, and not
Yeah.
your face. That porn stash, I couldn't stop staring at it. So,
Yeah.
so, no, I think it looks good on you.
Anchors away.
No, stay away from me with that
Oh,
shit.
good.
So, anyways, we could have never come this far without you guys, and we wanted to let you know that we do have some changes coming up, and we hope you'll continue on this journey with us. This will be the last episode of the Crit Academy Dungeons and Dragons discussion podcast.
Oh,
Yeah.
To let that sink in, you guys.
Yeah.
Our last episode is Crit Academy Dungeons and Dragons podcast.
But
We're not going away.
We are launching a new podcast at the end of this
Absolutely.
month called Crit Academy Dice and Dialogue. What is this? I'm so glad you asked. It is a tabletop RPG discussion podcast. Join us as we try a variety of games and then share our experiences with you. we will discuss what makes each game special, what we feel could use some improvements because we're experts, and what aspects you can integrate into other games. Now, in addition to that, we will be talking system agnostic tips and tricks and products that you. I just hit myself in the face again.
Some people are panicked.
Yeah.
And
Oh, thank
products that you can bring to any game table. In addition, the three of us, myself, Justin, Ian, and Brandon, will now also be joined by Alex Baum as a co-host.
Whoa.
And we're super excited for that.
Yep.
Now, there are going to be some big changes here. The new podcast will be bi-weekly. We will no longer be streaming episodes live since we will be recording multiple episodes once per month. And videos of each episode will be released to patrons right away.
Yep.
And then will be available on YouTube for everyone on a delayed schedule.
Makes sense.
I'm excited for this because that means we can join the live shows and actually interact and talk. Or not the live shows. We can join the preview launch, the premiere of the episode, and actually talk to you in chat about what we were doing and some other things. So
What
it's
I
a
used
little
to do.
more, huh?
What I used to do.
Yeah, so it's a little more impersonal and a direct conversation, which I think would be fun because we get to engage directly with you. That means we won't be live, but we think that this will be a better for us in the long run.
Oh, Ricardo. His podcast is what he found he wanted to learn about Dungeons and Dragons, and we helped him.
Well,
Yeah, he'll make
let's
decisions,
hope
start
that
Yeah.
let's hope that all the new stuff we're going to be covering is going to move into
And-
it and continue to help you
That
get
makes me excited.
what.
All the new content we're going to be bringing. And that's because we sit here every week and we talk about all this awesome stuff that people create and all these ideas that we have, but we never actually play anything.
Yeah.
And now we're going to sit down and we get to play a game. And it's
And
a
it's
different
gonna be
mechanic every
different.
time. It's going to be awesome.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
now,
I still haven't read
Or
up
might
on
not be
it.
awesome, you know.
Okay, I have to say, just going from the chat, there was like a slight panic attack in chat when they thought we were quitting.
Oh my god!
But then you said like a new one's coming, and I was like, oh thank God.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
like this one right here says, I literally found this podcast because I was new to DMing and wanted tips and tricks too. And honestly, like as I worked on this podcast, I feel like I've leveled up so hard as like a
Yeah.
D&D player in general.
So much shit
Yeah.
I've used from this.
Yeah,
And there's also one
stuff that I
statement-
don't even like think about anymore. That like
it's just
it's just in my like how I play now.
I'm so glad that I've been able to spread my proverbial D&D seed all over you guys.
I hate you. I'm so glad I'm not here
That's what
anymore.
sucks, because when the podcast initially started with the three of us, we had the experienced DM, the man experienced with multiple board games, and the person who has a newbie
Clueless.
experience looking at this from outside
And
the
it's
box. saying,
funny
"Oh, so
because
this.
what
I'm
ended
at
up
the
happening
point-
was after you left, they just got another newbie.
I'm at the point where I'm not just a newbie anymore, and I can't
Same.
get away with that.
It's kind of weird.
Yes. You are now experts. You have graduated from the academy.
Oh my god! Finally,
Yeah!
I have a fucking diploma. Finally.
I'll send it in an email.
Where's my
Thank
tassel?
God.
And CGM Prenderson had a request, and I think it's one that deserves to be followed up on. Episode 300. Can you get some 300 style awoos?
Oh,
Like-
Crit Academy. What's your profession?
Great.
I love it.
I
Or
feel bad
Ryan
because
didn't
Ryan's on a
join.
delay.
I didn't even know what was going on. I just found
He's like,
the
it's over. Sorry, Ryan.
literally just
Please
found
make
the
sure
lead. I
that you
had
sign
no
up to our newsletter. Stay tuned to our social media for all the latest updates. For everyone listening to this, we have a huge request from you. When the new show drops everywhere, I'm thinking specifically iTunes, but
Yeah.
wherever you get it, please make a valiant effort to listen to each of the first episodes as soon as they come out, the day they come out.
Yeah.
The algorithms love that, and we want
Absolutely.
to be able to reach as many as we can.
And I don't think people realize how important that is for podcasters.
Yeah, and it'll be a new feed too, so you'll have to resubscribe to the new feed.
Yep.
Leave reviews, all that jazz. So,
Audible? Yep.
Yeah.
Audible? I don't know. Are we on Audible? I think we're on Audible.
We should be
we
I
on
thought we were on
Audible?
everything.
If we're on it now, we'll still be.
Yes, if we're on it now, we'll still be on it. If we're not on it, and we need to be, send me an email and I'll get us there.
Here's no memory that we had from a long time ago. We're like herpes. We're everywhere.
Some more than others.
Oh shit.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Was there more to that?
No, that was the whole
That
thing.
was the whole
That was the
punchline.
bit.
All right. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining us for the 300th episode, and the last episode of Crit Academy D&D podcast. I want to do a special thanks to Austin and our buddy Ryan. Thank you guys so much.
I'm clapping for
for coming.
me.
I didn't think that this would actually happen. I was super excited that you both accepted.
Absolutely.
I feel like you guys were there from the beginning, through the middle, and now the end. But we're not going away. We're just evolving because WotC are big douchebags.
We're revamping.
Yeah,
Um,
fair.
and I think that this is the best for us. And we get to play new games. I get to buy new games and then play them and write it off.
And write it off.
It's
As a business expense.
Business expense.
Absolutely.
Oh goodness.
Actually
We were
found
found on Pandora. I didn't even know we were there.
I didn't know Pandora still existed.
They're still on
Yes.
Pandora.
I still use Pandora.
I
listen
thought
to Pandora.
Spotify swallowed them like Pac-Man and one of those little ghosts.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel so
All
bad
right.
because I had Pandora and I'll see Critical Role. It's like right underneath it. I have Crit Academy and I go, eh. I get Critical Role. Because I've already done our shows. I've listened to it.
I mean, I guess
get
that's
it.
fair, right? If you're literally the show.
I know. But
Yeah, it's
you
kind of
just
weird
have
to like
play
sit
in
at
the
home and listen to
background.
your own podcast.
Yeah, it'd be kind of
Yeah.
weird.
It's-
Yeah, I haven't done it in a long time.
That's like something Kanye would
It's
do.
weird.
We're all just sitting looking at the mirror, listening to
Oh
our
my
own
God.
show, like, oh yeah, that's me.
That's so fucking funny.
That's nice.
That's something Kanye would do.
Well, we did change the name like Kanye. Hey, what's his new name now? Y-E?
I don't know.
Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for the last episode of the Crit Academy Dungeons & Dragons podcast. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your host, Ian.
I'm your co-host Brandon.
I'm your co-host Austin.
I'm your co-host Ryan.
Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
Absolutely.